Hey, what's up fellas? How we doing? Matt Antonelli here. Today is episode 1 of the Ask AB show. So, I get tons of questions, tons and tons of questions on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and email. And I try to answer them all for you guys in videos. But I'm getting way too many, so I can't keep up with all of them. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to start to answer multiple questions right here for you guys. So, how we'll do it at first at least is, shoot your questions into me on Instagram, Antonelli Baseball, and I'm just going to scroll through here. I did it last night, and I've got a couple hundred questions here, and so obviously I can't get through all of them, but I'm going to start to pick 3, 4, 5, say, depends how long it takes to answer the question. I'll give you a little shout out, and then we'll go from there. So I'm just going to start randomly scrolling down my DM. Let's DM them to me. I'm going to randomly just kind of scroll down them here, pick them out, and let's go. First question comes from thesuave_IV. He says, do MLB franchises have a say on how their farm league team should be managed? Like, can an MLB team tell a AA team that they have to play a prospect at a given position, etc.? So, here's the way I feel it happens, and this is kind of how it worked when I was playing. And again, I've never been behind the scenes. I don't know exactly how it works, but I've got a pretty good feel just talking to people and knowing people. With most minor league teams, the minor league manager isn't going to have free reign to just do whatever he wants. So there's some structure and guidelines to it. There's going to be certain players that upper management, the front office, is going to want to be played, right, a certain amount of times at certain positions. And so it's really a collaborative effort. They're all working together. The manager is going to have say on certain things. He's going to be able to make switches, during the game. He's going to be able to switch the lineup up. But again, there's going to be certain players. If there's top prospects, they're going to say, hey, listen, we want this guy to play this many times a week, or we want him to get this many at-bats, and we want him to play these positions. They're not going to do that, I don't think, for every single player. But for the top prospect guys, for the guys they really want to make sure get the at-bats, that's going to happen, right? And there's going to be certain guys that are going to kind of be more the bench role players that are going to fill in a certain spot. So there's definitely, it's not just the manager just doing whatever he wants all year long. There's structure involved. Again, the minor leagues are set up to develop the players and get them to the big leagues. And so, the major league team isn't going to just let this one minor league manager just control everything, right? There's going to be a lot of structure put in place without obviously taking all the control away from the manager. He's still allowed to do things during the game and throughout the year. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, next question is from Cappy44_. He says, as a hitter, how hard should we really be swinging, especially with the guy throwing hard, percentage-wise? So here's the thing. If you want to hit the ball hard, you're going to have to swing hard. All right. One of the misconceptions is that, I heard it all the time when I was younger. Major league players don't swing hard. Look how easy they swing. Look how nice and smooth that is, right? Here's the thing. The reason why major league players look like they're swinging easy, a lot of them, is because their swing is in the proper sequence. And so everything looks really smooth. It doesn't look like they're muscling up. They're not really just using their upper body. They're using their total body. So the swing looks easy, but it's not that they're swinging easy. Like I was told all the time when I was younger, like, look at Ken Griffey Jr., look at this guy, look at that guy, look how easy they swing. Just swing easy. Just put the bat on the ball. It's not that easy. You have to swing hard. Obviously, you have to swing right? Swing properly. But if you think you're just going to swing 40, 50, 60% and hit the ball hard and drive the ball, it's not going to happen. So it needs to be a hard swing, yet an under control swing, right? So what I tell our guys is, like, we want to stay in really good posture, right? And obviously we're working on the swing and trying to teach them how to swing with the correct sequence, but you have to let it loose. Like, you have to swing the bat hard. Like David Ortiz always said, I swing hard just in case I hit it. So I have to be under control. Like, I can't just be swinging hard with my upper body and just pull off the ball. Like, I have to stay over the plate with good posture, but I'm swinging hard. So hopefully that helps clarify that. Okay, Matthew_Hayes_9 asks, what is the recruiting process as a player like? So this is a really, this question could take me like a couple days to answer. We have a bunch of stuff online already for the recruiting process. I'll say this to make it really, really easy. Everyone's recruiting process is going to be a little bit different. It's really important to really partake in the process, not just what happens on the field, although that's an extremely important part of it. For most players, you're not just going to be able to step on the field and play well and get recruited. Some guys it will. If you have really, really good talent, then that will happen for you. But for the majority of guys, at least in my experience, you're going to have to play well on the field, but then you're also going to have to do some other things. You're going to have to get a target list of schools. You're going to have to do some research on your own. You're going to have to reach out to schools. And again, we talk a lot about this in other videos, so go ahead and check all those videos out. But just know that it's a combination of playing well and then doing the work outside of the field, recruiting schools getting to know schools, getting to know coaches, all of that stuff, figuring out where you want to go. You merge those two together, and that's the recruiting process. So I'd like to take more time on that. I'll make another video on it, but right now that would take like an hour video. All right, so next question is from Beef Alaska 17. He says, what is it like hitting an MLB homer? I think anytime you hit a home run, it's exciting, especially if you don't hit a ton. Like, I was never a big power guy in my career, except in Little League, my 12-year-old year. And so, you know, I didn't hit a ton of home runs. I don't even know how many professional home runs I hit. I probably hit like right around like 40 or something altogether, but I hit 21 in one season, so that kind of, you know, that one season I hit a lot, but other than that, I didn't really. I probably never enjoyed my home runs as much as I probably should have. Like, if you watch my home run trot, I always hit the ball and then I just ran around the bases really, really fast. I actually thought it was cooler. Like, that was kind of the year that I hit a lot of home runs, and in college when I hit a decent amount of home runs, my version of a pimp job was to just hit it and just put your head down and run fast. I thought that was cooler than just sitting there and staring at it. So I got around the bases so fast and never really, really enjoyed it. But I'm not going to lie, like, hitting a home run is probably the most exciting thing in baseball, at least for me, especially when it comes from hitting. I mean, I like to draw a really good walk too. I thought a long at bat and drawing a walk was cool, but home run definitely beats it. So I only hit one MLB home run. I got a video on it if you want to go back and check it out. And it was obviously really, really exciting. I wish I had hit more, but I didn't play well enough to stay up and hit enough. All right, so Chase_Winstead9. His question is, what's the best part about being in the MLB? There's a lot of really good parts about being in the MLB. When you compare, well, I'll say there's a lot of good parts, and then there's also, you know, it's not all fun and games. So there's two sides of it. Like, when you play in the major leagues, everything is better than what you're used to in the minor leagues. Like, the travel is better, right? You're on chartered flights. The food is amazing. You're staying in the best hotels. You're getting paid a ton of money. You know, everybody thinks you're cool and awesome, unless you're hitting like, you know, 200 like I was at one point. You know, just the ballparks are amazing. Everything is amazing, okay? So there's not just like one great part about being in the major leagues. You know, and the other thing is, you know, ever since you were a young kid, like for me at least when I was young, my goal was always, you know, my goal as a kid was to play in the major leagues or in the NHL. Those were like my two goals. And so to finally get to the major leagues is obviously something you've been working for your whole life, is really, really cool. On the other side of things, it's also very different. Like, and I don't know if every player feels this, but for me, like, for most of your life, you play baseball and it's fun and it feels like a game. And then when you get to the major leagues, it's just a little bit different. There's more pressure on you, obviously, so everything you do is really scrutinized. You know, I remember making an error against the Milwaukee Brewers, and I remember watching TV that night and they kept showing it, and I had to turn the TV off because I didn't want to watch it anymore. I took a ball and just sailed it to the catcher I was getting a cut from the outfield, and I threw it over the catcher's head. The ball kind of slipped out of my hand. At least that's what I tell people. And so there's a lot more pressure, and people are going to scrutinize you a lot. You're going to get at, like, people at, what the hell are you doing? Like, what's up with that swing? Or, you know, you just get that a lot more. So it's not as much of just play the game and that's it. Like, the game, it follows you after the game, before the game. So it's different. And then if you don't play well, you get cut or released, you get sent down. So it's just a little bit of a different game. At times it can be not as fun. If you're playing well, it's great. But if you're struggling, like I was struggling, like I'm sure all players have at points of their career, and so at times it's not really that exciting. It's not all fun and games. So, but again, you're playing baseball for a living, so things could be a lot worse. Let's answer one more question, and then we'll... Okay. Let's see. This question is from Jake ZZZ. He likes to sleep a lot. He says, how do you keep your arm healthy and feeling 100% throughout a season? The only day that you feel 100% is the first day of spring training, for me. Like, after that, you never feel 100% again. There's always something a little bit wrong, at least, again, that's how I felt. But to keep your arm healthy, a couple of things. The first thing is you have to make sure going into the season that you've properly conditioned your arm. So where players get in trouble is they don't throw at all, right? This happens all the time. I coach high school now, I coach travel ball. Players don't throw it all during the winter. They get to the first day of trials or the first day of practice, they throw a ton, and then they can't pick their arm up for a week. And that just sets them back because now they're going to start to miss out time. They're always trying to make sure they don't throw too much, and it's a pain the rest of the year. So you have to properly build it up. You're never going to be able to completely simulate what the season's going to be like in the off season, so I don't expect you to be able to do that. But you can't go from nothing to all of a sudden throwing every day. That's a bad recipe for your arm. So try to build it up as much as you can so that when you step into the season, you're pretty well conditioned, and although you'll probably be sore after the first workout, it's manageable. You're not going to be hanging and not be able to throw at all, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is during the season, what I did is, one, properly warm up and cool down, right? There's a bunch of different things you can do for that. You can use bands. You know, you can get, what I used to do again is I used to go into the training room and they would stretch me out. They would get my arm loose for me, right? They know a little bit better than me. When I started to do that, when I really took care of my arm, and again, that opportunity isn't there for everybody. Like if you're a high school player, you're probably not going to have somebody that can stretch your arm out for you every day. But you can figure out different ways, whether it's bands again, or making sure that you're doing a dumbbell routine, making sure that you're keeping everything in your shoulder really strong. And if you don't know what to do, go online. There's so much information online. You can find arm care programs online. But the biggest thing, again, there's no one magic way, but it's just make sure you make it a priority. Don't just act. I did this a lot when I was younger, when I was in high school. I just kind of, excuse me, just kind of took it for granted. I just threw in the games. I never really did anything before or after, and I had not arm issues, but I was always sore. I pitched in high school too, so there's a lot of throwing. And, you know, I iced my arm down, but that was really it. And nowadays they even show that, you know, ice might not even be the answer all the time. So again, just do your research and make sure that you're making it a priority before and after to go through all of those steps. It takes time, but if you want to have a healthy arm throughout the year, you've got to do it. Okay, so that's all the questions for today. I'll shoot another video for you guys. We'll continue this. I've got a million questions to get through here, but thank you again for sending in your question. I really appreciate it. Keep sending it into Instagram at Antonelli Baseball, and I'm going to continue to put these on for you guys. So thank you again. I hope you got a lot out of it. Subscribe to the channel if you're not done so already. Give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. Share the video with all your friends. Check out the description box below. We've got a bunch of stuff down there. We've got Plate Crate Deal. We've got a bunch of other things that we recommend, so check that out. And that's all I got, guys. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you later.